High School Sports Network is the official video and audio streaming partner of the WPIAL. We broadcast over 2,000 sporting events each year and cover 17 sports in over 170 schools. At HSSN, you'll find the latest in high school sports news, live and archive broadcasts, scores, standings, and much more. Trib Live High School Sports Network, your high school sports leader. All season, every season.
Welcome into the Peterson Event Center. The University of Pittsburgh, the Path of the Pete, ends at the Pete tonight for Friday night's coverage of the WPIAL Basketball Championships. It's boys 5A action as the Mars Planets, the number 3 seed at 19-5, take on the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. They are 16-8. They are seeded 8th. It's exclusive and continuing coverage of the WPIAL basketball playoffs on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Our pregame show tonight brought to you by Pisa. Give your child the opportunity to have some healthy competition this summer. Do it at Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena. Take advantage of the early bird special and sign up before April 1st to get $30 off per week. All sports, all day, all summer. Register now at PISAUSA.com. Alongside Rick Bell, Bob Workwist, glad you're aboard. Exclusive coverage. Hope you enjoyed coverage so far tonight. Boys 5A, Rick, it's kind of a contrast in many ways. The first one, the most obvious one, Mars been there and done that. Laurel Highlands, it's been a long time since they've been at this stage.
It sure has, Bob. 1972, to be in fact. Mars here for the third time in a row, and Laurel Highlands first time in a while. So that's the first contrast. The second contrast is Mars relies on a big guy, and Laurel Highlands relies on a guard.
You're talking about big guy. You got to talk about the big guy. Really no one like Michael Carmody, Rick, in the WPL, really around anywhere. You look at him, he's 6'7", 290, and you say, well, that's a football player playing basketball, but he is really good at basketball as well.
Absolutely, and that's not just your opinion, Bob. That's fact. The statistics bear it out. Michael is close to averaging, and that's right, folks. I said averaging a 20, and not just a double-double, but a 20-20. Close to averaging 20 points a game, and probably more impressively, 20 rebounds a game. He's not just a really good football player who plays basketball. He's a really good basketball player as well. And then, of course, for Laurel Highlands is the freshman phenom.
Rodney Gallagher made his name kind of on the AAU circuit. He wears number 2 for Laurel Highlands. He averages over 20 points a game, and he has not shied away from the spotlight. He has scored 20 points in 2 of their 3 playoff wins. He came in with high expectations. You had a chance to talk to Rick Hogger. I talked to Coach earlier, and they were asking about Rodney, and he said, fans ask him, what are you going to do? You're going to play a freshman? And Rick said, heck, if I had him last year as an 8th grader, that's how good Rodney Gallagher is.
Well, and I think the thing now, Bob, about Rodney Gallagher, I think he first came on the scenes as being Bronny James' teammate. And again, most basketball fans know who I'm talking about. That would be LeBron James' son. And, and so you hear that hype about being Bronny James' teammate. Well, guess what? Rodney Gallagher can play as well.
More than just hype, he has already got scholarship offers from Illinois and the University of Rhode Island. He's got interest from Xavier in Arizona. And he came into the playoffs averaging over 23 a game. And I mentioned 20 points in 2 of their 3 playoff wins. It's been since 1968 since Laurel Highlands won a WPIAL championship. So that's another contrast. The last 2 years, Mars, their 2 championships, the only 2 championships in school history. Let's go courtside. Jack Hillgrove, your PA announcer, will bring you up to stuff on this game between Mars and Laurel Highlands.
For the singing of our national anthem. This game's singer, senior from Penn Trafford High School, Madeline Petrillo.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, the number 8 seed comes in with an overall record of 16-8, with wins over Hampton, Penn Hills, and Thomas Jefferson on their path to the beat. Senior number 1, Keandre Cook. Freshman number 2, Rodney Gallagher. Senior number 15, Ty Vaughn Long. Junior number 21, Nick Egnott. And senior number 24, Tim Smith. The head coach of the Laurel Highlands Mustangs is Rich Hogger. And now, the starting lineup for the number 3 seed Mars Fighting Planets. They come in with a 19-5 overall record, with wins over South Fayette and Chartiers Valley on their path to the beat. Sophomore number 2, Zach Schlegel. Senior number 3, Michael Carmody. Sophomore number 10, Chris Dvorak. Senior number 21, Joey Kraska. And junior number 33, Mahali Safanos. The head coach of the Fighting Planets is Rob Carmody.
Those are starting lineups for the Fighting Planets and the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. If you recognize that voice, Jack Hillgrove is a part of the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Our pregame show tonight brought to you by our friends at Pisa. Free throws on this game and this game are brought to you by Pisa. If you have a birthday party on a turf field or on a court at Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena, you can pick which games to play, select your food package. All parties include up to 16 children. And for additional partiers, it's a $10 fee per child. For more information or to book your party, visit PISAUSA.com. Thanks to our friends at the Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena for bringing you the pregame show. Our coverage overall brought to you by Sendell Motors. Carmody and Ty Vaughn Long go for the tip-off. Mars in the navy blue and gold. They move from left to right. They will have the opening possession. They're lower in the bracket, so they're wearing their road jerseys tonight. Laurel Highlands in the white, red, and blue. They'll defend the basket to the right, move from right to left. First possession for Mars, that is Schlegel. Comes to the near side. Kraska's three. That's a little bit short. Engot has the rebound for Laurel Highlands.
We're going to look for Laurel Highlands to up-tempo it, Bob. One of the things that Coach Hager said was he does not want this to become a half-court game.
There's Gallagher. Jumper from the right side. He's got the first two. And it's a 2-0 lead for the Mustangs.
Laurel Highlands dropping into a 2-3 zone.
Engot is on Carmody right now, although Tyvon Long and Keandre Cook are near him. Kraska goes to Schlegel. He drives on the left side. There's a three, and Mars is on the board as Joey Kraska drains the tray.
And that is absolutely one of the ways that you attack the zone. You shoot over top of it.
Gives Mars a 3-2 lead. Kraska had a big game in the semifinals against Char Valley. Cook's pass is deflected, and we get a tie-up. And the alternate possession arrow favors Laurel Highlands. Paul Pulio is your referee tonight. Jonathan Beck and Rich Kotarski are your umpires. That's a good play, good arms for the length of Chris Dvorak. Left baseline inbound for Laurel Highlands. That's Gallagher. To Keandre Cook, those two football players as well for Laurel Highlands. There's Tyvon Long backing in. Turnaround jumper on Dvorak, no good. Dvorak rebounds for Mars.
And I'm sure one of the reasons why Laurel Highlands is playing zone, Bob, is to try to neutralize Carmody. As we talked about how big he is, that's one of the reasons why you go to a zone defense if the other team has a strong post presence.
Mars working perimeter with Schlegel, playing catch with Mahali Stefanos. They work on the left side, near side Kraska, guarded there by Tim Smith. Smith had a big game in the playoffs against Hampton. He makes the steal. He had 6 threes in the win over Hampton and a season-high 20 points. Tim Smith, the senior. He gets the ball now, bounces it to Tyvon Long on the right wing. Top of the key, Cook, near side, Smith. He'll drive, enter the Long, turns and lays it up and in. 4-3 Mustangs. Good ball move at that time by Laurel Highlands. Smith with the assist. Long has his first two. Near side Kraska, there's an entry pass. First touch for Carmody. Spins, turns, window no. Gets his own rebound, and that's what he does. It's 5-4 Mars.
And what he does is rebound the basketball. As we said, he doesn't just score the ball, he rebounds the ball.
Engot misses. Dvorak rebounds. And that is Zach Schlegel. He'll come to the right, just the sophomore. Stefanos, Mahali Stefanos, the junior. Right side, Joey Kraska, as they pass around the zone. Stefanos is three. A little bit strong, good rebound. Dvorak, hook shot, way off the mark. That is rebounded by Gallagher. He looks to run for Laurel Highlands, pulls up on the run. Back rim, no, rebound Cook. He goes up, and he is fouled by Michael Carmody.
Laurel Highlands will be shooting 2, and this evening's free throws are brought to you by the Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena. Located in Cheswick, their 100,000 square feet of space leaves plenty of room for sports-related fun. Birthday parties, camps, training, youth leagues, and parents. They also have a pub and grill and various adult leagues. Grab your team and visit pisausa.com.
Cook makes the first, Cook makes the second. Laurel Highlands with a 6-5 lead. Just over 2 minutes into this first quarter. Path of the Pete at the Pete. This is the 4th and final game tonight on Friday. 5 games tomorrow on Saturday. There were 3 games yesterday. All of them live, archived via video here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Stefanos at the logo. Dvorak right blocks. Short. Rebounded by Tyvon Long.
And exactly what Mars did there, Bob, is the best way to attack the zone, is to get a guy into the high post area and go through him. That's the vulnerable area against the zone in the high post.
Options there for Dvorak, shooting or passing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Underneath or outside, right?
Right, and if he can knock that shot down, now it's going to really put problems for Laurel Highlands because now they can't put 2 or 3 guys around Carmody. They'll have to start to step up and defend that play.
Smith right elbow. Engot's 17-footer is no good. Carmody has his second rebound. Pass deflected away by Keandre Cook. Cook was the hero in the Laurel Highlands win in the playoffs over Penn Hills. They beat Penn Hills, the number 1 seed, twice, once in the regular season, and then in the quarterfinals. Cook with the game-winning driving layup with 3.5 seconds left in that win over Penn Hills.
And, Bob, you talked about the contrast in the pregame. We're going to also see a contrast of how the two teams are going to play. You see Mars being a lot more patient and deliberate on offense. Laurel Highlands is going to want to get it out and go.
Kraskow feeds Carmody. He's got 4, and Mars leads 7-6.
And that's exactly why Mars wants to be deliberate. They want to get the ball to Michael a foot from the basket, and that's going to be very difficult for Laurel Highlands to deal with.
And that's the reason you mentioned a foot from the basket, Rick. He's a 64% field goal shooter on the season.
Absolutely.
There's a good shot by Tim Smith. Right side, he drains the J. And Laurel Highlands back on top, 8-7. Almost 5 minutes through this first quarter, we've gone back and forth.
And I don't really see any 1972 jitters here from the Mustangs.
Well, Coach Hager was probably alive then. I was. I don't remember the game, obviously. Carmody rebounds, turns, spins, and scores.
Ironically, Bob, you mentioned 1968. When I was talking to Coach Hager earlier today, he told me he was a 9th grader, and he was talking about just how the community rallied around that team, and that's happening again down in Laurel Highlands with this team.
Gallagher drives, draws a foul on Mahali Stefanos. Coach Hager also talked to Scott DeBerry, who's the basketball coach. Laurel Highlands baseball team was in the WPIAL championship last year. They lost to Mars. Smith enters to Engot, but Engot misses the layup, and Joey Kraska rebounds for Mars.
And that's another thing that Carmody does right there. I guarantee you Engot was looking for Carmody. So that's another area where Carmody will impact the game. That kid quick shot that because he didn't want it to be rejected.
Dvorak at the left elbow drains the jumper. Mars on top 9-8. He may not block every shot, Rick, but he certainly affects a lot. There's another foul on Stefanos out front at the left elbow. So 2 in a row for Stefanos, 15 feet away from the basket.
Listen, Bob, when you're 6'7" and 290, you're going to be noticed. While Laurel Highlands is playing a zone, Mars is playing straight man-to-man.
There's a pull-up jumper for Keandre Cook. It's short. Rebound is deflected. It is off Carmody, or is it off Engot? They say it's off Carmody. Laurel Highlands will retain possession. The other thing Carmody brings, in addition to scoring and the senior presence, he's got the Carmody motor. He's a fiery player out there.
Absolutely. And how about the screens that he could set?
That's also true. Gallagher's 10-foot runner is no good, and Carmody has his 4th rebound. There is Schlegel into the forward court. Mahali Stefanos stays in with those 2 personal fouls as we're down to 1 minute and 40 to go. Get it underneath. The Vorak's pass intercepted. That's good defense by Smith, who got it to Long. Back to Tim Smith. He comes up left side. 3 on the way. No good. Rebound! It'll count anyway, even though Long couldn't get the putback jam, but it went back in off the window.
And that got the Mustang fans a little fired up, didn't it?
You would love to get that slam, but Tyvon Long is really good. I saw him beat Penn Hills, Laurel Highlands on the road. And there's Smith mentioned he had 6 threes earlier in the playoffs.
And here we see him trailing that play.
Speed and recognition of where that ball was.
Absolutely.
We got a Laurel Highlands foul. And then a foul on the inbounds play. They got it to Michael Carmody, and he was fouled underneath.
And the thing about Carmody, he's such a competitor. That Laurel Highlands crowd gets fired up. That's going to get him fired up. He had a little extra more juice going after that rebound.
Engot, good steal off of Carmody. Smith runs, lays, and scores. A Sendell Motors quality drive of the game for Tim Smith. Great defense underneath by Nick Engot to take it away from Michael Carmody. 12-11 Laurel Highlands, and a hold away from the ball. That might be on Engot. It is Nick Engot's personal.
Just under a minute to play here. Coach Hager has got to be elated with how his young team with no experience being in this arena, literally, hanging right there with the Planets.
With Dvorak from 16. this sophomore from outside. He's 6'6". A little length, but not as much bulk as Michael Carmody. That's going to be his post next year for Mars. Laurel Highlands down to 34 seconds, trailing by 1, 13-12. Smith right side drives, lays, no, but he was fouled on the way there. Now we got a screen or travel, and it's a turnover for Laurel Highlands. So Mars gets the ball back with 28 seconds.
With Laurel Highlands sitting in a zone here, Bob, I wouldn't be surprised to see Mars probably hold it for the last shot. And I think Mars has the possession arrow, so they'll get the last possession of the first quarter and the first possession of the second quarter.
That's the facts. Kraska misses. Carmody cleans up. No. This rebound to Gallagher. On the run comes Rodney Gallagher. Driving. Puts it up with the right hand. No good. Cook rebounds. His shot is no good. Long at the buzzer. No good. And the horn sounds. 3 opportunities for Laurel Highlands at the end of the quarter. They cannot connect. After 1 quarter of play from the Peterson Event Center, it's Mars 13, Laurel Highlands 12. It's exclusive coverage of the WPIAL Basketball Championships brought to you by Sendell Motors on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Let's turn your home into something really cool, like a dream vacation or a new addition, or both. Let's make it easy by putting a great rate on a home equity line of credit. Let's get started, online or at your local First National Bank branch.
I'm Tim, and this is my Sendell Subaru story. I have 4 daughters. Love them all the same, but these girls couldn't be any more different. Tara is my uber-independent, I-got-it-covered one. But when she went off to college, Mom and Dad wanted to make sure the only thing she had to worry about were her studies. Subaru is such a trusted brand, and the Forester is such a safe, reliable vehicle. And what I love about Sendell is that when it comes to family, they got it covered too. Thanks, Sendell.
Visit Sendell Subaru, Route 30, Greensburg today.
Second quarter begins at the Peterson Event Center. Mars has the basketball. Mars has the lead at 13-12.
Well, I was wrong about that last possession, but I was right about the first possession to start the second quarter.
Yeah, Mars gave it up on a steal, but Laurel Highlands had 3 opportunities to score. They could not. Let's see if that's important. Mars almost turns it away by Kraska. They've drawn the zone out, and there's Dvorak at the free throw line. He's called for traveling. Alongside Rick Bell, Bob Workwist. Team Trib Live is here. They have been. They've been in action all week, actually, but they've been here yesterday, today, 5 games tomorrow, bringing you great and exclusive coverage of the path to the Petes, the WPIAL basketball playoffs. Long to Cook, Smith. Smith and Long led Laurel Highlands in the first quarter. With 4, Gallagher ties them with a driving layup on the right side.
And he took it right at Carmody. He being Gallagher, was not intimidated by Michael Carmody on that play. Took it right at him.
Gallagher not afraid to drive. Self-admittedly says he needs to work on his outside shot a little bit. Stefanos. Kraska back to Mahaly Stefanos. Or now it's Stefanos and Schlegel. Schlegel on the left side. Left corner, Kraska.
And I think it is Egnot's responsibility, number 21, to have a body either close to or on Carmody at all times. Look at how close he is to him on the baseline.
Schlegel misses a short runner. Tyvon Long has his 4th rebound. Here comes Gallagher. Scoops it up and in. Swooping from right to left.
And once again, we see Laurel Highlands transitioning, Bob, from defense to offense. They want to put pressure on the Mars defense. I cannot emphasize it enough. They do not want this to be a half-court game.
Their transition has been good. There's Dvorak. Turnaround for 14, no. Michael Carmody rebounds, pump fakes up and in. Wanted the foul as well. That's 8 points, 5 boards for Michael Carmody.
And when Dvorak misses that jump shot, if Carmody ends up with the offensive rebound, it's like a post pass.
Indeed it is. Gallagher hits a jumper. He's heated up. He's got the first 6 points for Laurel Highlands. They lead by 3. That's their biggest lead of the game, and the other team's biggest lead. Wide open jumper in the lane for Mahaly Stefanos. He has his first 2. Makes it 18-17. Laurel Highlands with the lead. Gallagher pull up. Back rim, no. Rebound, Carmody. Up the floor comes Schlegel. Stops on the right wing. Gets around Smith. Bounce pass. Right baseline, Dvorak's jumper. No. Rebound grabbed by Keandre Cook. Cook to Gallagher, right side. Slows and surveys. Flips to Tim Smith on the near side. He's guarded by Kraska. Now it's Keandre Cook, guarded by Stefanos.
You saw Gallagher there asking Long to come up and set a ball screen for him.
And it works.
And that's why. Boy, how nice.
Left around the screen and drains the J.
And how nice must it be as a coach to have a freshman have the wherewithal to call a guy up to set a screen for him.
Laurel Highlands again up by 3 at 20-17. There's Dvorak, who's got another jumper. And he drains it as well. 6 for Chris Dvorak.
And that's that sweet spot of the zone that I was talking about earlier, Bob. If Mars can continually get that ball into the high post, Laurel Highlands is going to eventually have to make an adjustment there. Because, as I said, even if Dvorak doesn't make that jump shot, you got Carmody in the low post picking up the offensive rebound.
For Dvorak in the playoffs, had 12 in the quarterfinal win over South Fayette. And there is the freshman, Rodney Gallagher, draining a tray from the right side, and it's 23-19 Mustangs. Rodney Gallagher's not been affected by the bright lights of the Pete, especially here in the second quarter. He's on fire. And there's Dvorak answering at the other end.
Again, right into that soft spot of the zone. I just heard the Laurel Highlands fans chanting, he's a freshman. That young man's not a freshman anymore. I don't care what grade he's in. He's not your normal freshman.
Yeah, I might say ninth grader, but you played a whole season. He's played on the AAU circuit, so quite certain he's used to the brighter lights.
Absolutely.
There he is, left corner. Airballs that tray. Carmody rebounds.
And if you're playing with LeBron James' son, you're not just playing in any AAU circuit.
You know, not anyone gets to sleep at LeBron James' mansion.
Amen.
Rodney Gallagher did. He steals, finds Smith, who is blocked on the baseline. That'll be 3 personals on Mahali Stefanos.
And you know, Bob, there I thought was a great example of how Gallagher is such an unselfish player. You know, he's kind of feeling it right now, and coming down in transition, you know, he could have taken that shot, and he didn't do it. He made the extra pass and just shows not only is he a tremendous talent, but he also has a really, really high basketball IQ.
Mahali Stefanos out. His younger brother, Tasso Stefanos, checks in. There's Gallagher inside the free throw line. Back rim, no. Another rebound for Michael Carmody. That's 8 boards through the first 13 minutes of this game for Michael Carmody. Again, we mentioned it. That's just what he does.
Absolutely.
Well, there's a shot missed by Mars. The rebound will be tracked down by Tyvon Long. 5 rebounds now for Long. He's averaged a double-double in the playoffs. Great hesitation. The drive is good by Keandre Cook. Michael Carmody wanted the charge. I think it's a good no call. There was definitely contact, but that's a beautiful drive, a Sendell Motors quality drive by Keandre Cook.
He wasn't the only person in the Carmody family that wanted that charge call.
Well, we know at least 4 of them. And if Robbie's listening, 5, and there's an answer. The freshman, Tasso Stefanos, for 3. The Stefanos brothers, specifically Mahali. There's Keandre Cook. And back and forth we go. You might just have to sit back and watch this. It's been up and down, 28-24 Laurel Highlands.
Really impressed with Laurel Highlands too, Bob, because every single time, you know, Mars makes a play or seems like they're maybe starting to steal the momentum, Laurel Highlands comes right back down with an answer.
Mars answers, Laurel Highlands answers back. That's what's gone on.
And you got to remember, you talk about a Mars team that's been here. This is their 3rd year in a row. You're talking about a Laurel Highlands team. These kids weren't even born.
And that's also a team, Rick, that had 4 wins last year that did not make the playoffs. Here they are in the championship game the next year. As Gallagher holds out the logo. Now comes around the Tyvon Long screen, drives, spins and flips out. Smith 3, back rim no. Rebounded Dvorak. Mahali Stefanos, by the way, 2 years ago as a freshman played for Hamilton High School in Wisconsin. They were the big school champions there, so he's had experience there as a freshman and last year here as a sophomore for Mars. There's a 3. Book it! How about the freshman? Tasso Stefanos off the bench with a pair of trays. Mars is down 1.
You talk about a small world. I rode down to Florida on an airplane with their father going down to watch my son play earlier this year. I saw he had a Mars jacket on, and we started talking about hoops.
They throw it away. Smith tries to hit long. Turnover, Laurel Highlands. I'm sure you had plenty of conversations talking about hoops everywhere. I'm sure, Rick.
Yeah, my wife wasn't real happy.
She's not used to it by now?
Yeah, a little too used to it probably.
We'll just leave it at that,
There
right?
we go. Yeah, thanks.
Turn around. There's Dvorak, back of the rim, and he gets it to go. 10 for Chris Dvorak. Teams for years have been trying to figure that out against Syracuse. Mars has it figured out tonight in this first half.
Jamie Dixon did a pretty good job of it when he was here, and that was one of the things that Pitt always would do. They'd go through the high post.
Dvorak blocks long. Here and here. You can say here in Pittsburgh and here at the Pete.
At the Pete, absolutely.
It'll be Laurel Highlands with the left baseline inbound. 29-28 Morris. Down to 40 seconds to go before halftime. There's a three. Book that for Keandre Cook.
And once again, Bob, there's that answer. It seems like Mars is starting to get a little momentum going, maybe stealing the momentum here at the end of the first half, and boom, the Mustangs answer.
Cook averages 7 a game. He's got 12, 2 threes in the quarter. He's been battling a back issue throughout the season. He's brought his A game tonight. He brought his A game on the winning basket against Penn Hills in the quarterfinals. Mars holding for 1. We're down to 10 seconds. Dvorak, that's going to be a reach-in on Keandre Cook. It's relatively foul-free for both of these teams.
You know, I was just going to say, it's been a very, very clean game. You know, there hasn't been many stoppage of plays, referee whistles. It's been a really, really clean first half.
Cook might have been upset because he wanted the breakaway going the other way in transition. Down to 7. It's Schlegel. Dribbles left. Fires a tray. Back rim, no. Tyvon Long rebounds. And Schlegel steals as the first half comes to an end. We are going to keep it here. We're going to get Sean Saputo on the court. He was going to talk to one of the coaches. We'll throw it down to him in a second. Mars trailing 31-29. It's going to be Rick Hogger who will chat with Sean Saputo.
Coach, much better on the offensive end for your team as compared to the semifinals in this first half. What was clicking for your squad?
Well, we were getting it up a little bit quicker than we did the first half against TJ. Plus, we made some shots. Rodney was making some shots, and then Cook made a few. So that's what we have to do. But we want to try to keep the tempo moving at a little bit higher rate.
Maybe some adjustments needed going into the second half. How do you limit Carmody and down low? He's been a threat on the boards for you.
Good question. I wish I had the answer. But we are trying to get a body on him and make him have to go over us or through us, if at all possible. If the ball's on the side, we're trying to get a guy around in front and having backside help in case they want to lob it. So hopefully we have a person on the inside to keep him off the boards. He's been hurting us on the boards more so than posting up and getting a shot. So,
all right, Coach, best of luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thanks to Coach Hogger. Sean will have a chance to talk to Rob Carmody. After halftime, we are at the half. WPIAL Boys 5A Basketball Championships. It's Laurel Highlands 31, Mars 29. We'll take a break. Back to talk about the first half right after this. You're watching exclusive coverage of the WPIAL playoffs brought to you by Sendell Motors right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Excella Health wants to know, how can we help you today? Can we help you find a doctor? Schedule a same-day appointment. Choose just the right service for your health concern? As your healthcare partner, Excella offers hundreds of primary care and specialty doctors, along with outpatient testing, rehab, and nationally recognized heart care, surgery, and orthopedics. To learn more, visit excellahealth.org or call 1-877-771-1234.
When choosing a college, I wanted a school that moved me forward. At Seton Hill University, I'm a part of a welcoming community that celebrates a long history of preparing students to transform the world. With small class sizes and easy access to scholarships and aid, Seton Hill gives me the confidence, skills, and opportunities to take my future into my own hands. Plus, with an award-winning career services center right here on campus, I know I'll be supported, both as a student and after I graduate in whatever path I choose. Are you ready to move forward?
Experience the power of Bowser. Visit Bowser's Chevrolet in Monroeville and Beaver Falls. Shop our huge selection of new and pre-owned cars. Save time and money. Put Bowser's Chevrolet to work for you. Get the best price on a new Chevy up front and guaranteed. Before you buy anywhere else, get to Bowser's Chevrolet in Monroeville and Beaver Falls.
Back at the Peterson Event Center alongside Rick Bell, Bob Workwis. Halftime, WPIAL Boys 5A Championship. Laurel Highlands 31, Mars 29. The Mustangs are seated 8th. Mars is seated 3. Not just us, Team Trib Live is here. They have been. They're sleeping here from what my sources tell me because they're going to be back at it early tomorrow morning with all 5 games. 3 games yesterday, 4 today, and this one going on. Interesting first half. Our halftime show brought to you by our friends at Sendell Motors in Greensburg. If you're in the market to buy or lease a new vehicle, look no further than Sendell Motors, located off of Route 30 in Greensburg. Sendell Motors selection will have the right vehicle for you. Right now, you can lease a new 2020 Forester for $265 per month. $265 for 36 months. $2,465 cash due at signing. Offer valid through March the 2nd at Sendell Motors in Greensburg. Tell them your friends at the Trib Live High School Sports Network sent you. A lot of punch-counterpunch going on in the first half, Rick.
For sure, yeah. And Bob, you were spot on in the pregame. The 2 players that we highlighted are the 2 players that I don't think either coach right now feels as if they have an answer for. We actually heard that from Coach Hogger when he was interviewed by Sean, that we have no answer for Carmody. And you know what, Rick? Don't feel bad.
Who has?
Yeah, not too many people, if anybody has. But then conversely, I don't think Mars has had an answer yet for Gallagher, And it's always funny. I love those interviews. I know Rick doesn't want to be the guy interviewed at halftime. He wants to be the guy interviewed after the game. That's when you want to do that interview.
We always did it. You had it. Zach Scringer at Fox Chapel. We're up top at Fox Chapel like we were at Cannon McMillan. Zach always said that's the best walk in high school basketball. Coming up to talk to us afterwards.
Absolutely.
That's the bad part, having to talk to us. But you talked to Coach Hogger before the game, Rick, and I thought this was interesting. We both did, actually, talking about Michael Carmody. And, of course, you want to say, well, you get him into foul trouble. But that's a blanket against any good player. But he had an interesting take on what to do to try to handle Michael Carmody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And one of the things that Rick said was, look, this kid averages 20 points, 20 rebounds. Our goal is to take a third of that away. If we can take a third of that away, we think we've got a really good chance to win the game. And as you and I, Bob, were talking, before we went on the air, from a coaching perspective, I just thought that was brilliant because sometimes what we as coaches will do, we'll say, well, we're going to hold Carmody scoreless. Well, no, you're not. You're not going to hold him scoreless. So make a realistic goal. And I thought that was just a really good thought and good strategy on Coach Hogger and his staff's, on their thought process.
We will get you the halftime scoring numbers. We're going to anticipate Sean Saputo getting a word with Rob Carmody, Michael's father, the head coach here at Morris High School. Rob Carmody in his 22nd year leading the way for Morris. He has 344 wins.
One of the other things that Rick mentioned as well, Key, was, again, Laurel Highlands being, pushing the transition offense. Don't let Morris set up their half-court defense. And it appeared as if that happened as well in the first half.
Here's Sean Saputo with Rob Carmody.
See you needed for the second half?
We have to stop losing people defensively. We seem to be, running around and leaving guys wide open. We're making shots. I mean, it's a great game to watch, I'm sure. I mean, it's fast-paced. Both teams are making shots, good plays. We just, we just got to do a better job defensively. We got to find a way to get some loose balls and just got to keep it up. I mean, you can't complain. It's been a great first half of basketball. That's what you want in a WPIAL championship game. And I think the nerves are settled in for both teams. Now it's just a regular basketball game. We'll see what happens.
You've had a lot of success dissecting that zone, getting the ball inside in the middle around the foul line. Do we plan on seeing more of that?
Well, we have to continue to probe that zone and find the best spots to shoot. I thought Tasso came in and hit 2 big threes for us. I mean, we've got to continue to find a way to get Mike the ball. I thought they missed a couple and ones on him. We missed a couple of times where he was open, he didn't get the ball. And we have to continue to get him the ball and get that zone to sink a little bit to open things up. But again, our guys know what to do. It's second half of a WPIAL championship game. You either execute and you do it at a high level, or you're not going to win. I mean, it sounds simple, but that's the truth.
All right, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you,
guys. Back up to you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thanks, Coach Carmody. The basketball fan and Rob Carmody coming out there talking about how great of a game it was. Let's face it, you guys are coaches, but you're fans as well.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, there's been times, when I was coaching and our team was playing really well, or the other team was playing really well. You're human. Sometimes you catch yourself, kind of watching the game, and Coach Carmody just validated, Bob, what we kind of said to going to the half. It was a really, really clean, well-played game.
Keandre Cook leads Laurel Highlands 12 points, 11 for Rodney Gallagher, 4 apiece for Tyvon Long and Tim Smith. Tyvon Long also has 6 rebounds. Chris Dvorak, one of the stories of the first half, 10 points to lead Morris. He averages just over 5 a game. 6 rebounds, Michael Carmody, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 6 points for Tasso Stefanos off the bench with a pair of trays, 3 for Joey Kraska, 2 for Mahali Stefanos. Big thank you to Sendell Motors in Greensburg for your halftime show. Whether it's for mom or dad or a new teenage driver, we encourage you to look at other options at Sendell Motors. Their Subaru Foresters are reliable, safe vehicles for any weather conditions. Right now, you can lease a new 2020 Forester for $265 per month for 36 months. That offer valid through March the 2nd. Be sure to tell them your friends here at the Trib Live High School Sports Network sent you. We get a miss by Gallagher, but a rebound by Tyvon Long. So a second chance opportunity scooped up by Cook, no good. And Mahali Stefanos has that miss. Mars with a chance to tie or take the lead. Stefanos for the lead. Back rim, no. Dvorak rebounds, spins, lays, and scores. Boy, Chris Dvorak has been really good tonight, Rick.
He absolutely has been. And the last time in the last possession when Gallagher missed, Carmody had something to do with that miss as well.
Good pass, Long for the dunk. Blocked a little bit away by Michael Carmody, but Tyvon Long finishes anyway. And back and forth we go. That script has remained the same throughout.
And it's interesting, Long, 2 dunk attempts, didn't dunk either one of them, but the ball went in.
It's 4 points out of those.
Absolutely.
That's a great point.
And in a close game, man,
yes.
Every point matters.
Stefanos, Dvorak, and he stays hot. 14 for Chris Dvorak, and it's 33-31.
And real interesting that time, Bob, they took Dvorak and took him out of the high post and put him to the wing. Entered the ball to the high post, but had Dvorak make a basket cut for the bucket.
The last 2 baskets for Dvorak have been in close. Gallagher's long jumper near side, no. Rebounded by Joey Kraska. By the way, Chris Dvorak's season high 19 versus Shaler, so he's got 14 already in this title game.
And it's a great strategy by Coach Carmody because, again, you got to put so much emphasis on stopping Michael and keeping Michael off the glass. It's going to create free driving lane and opportunities for Dvorak.
33 apiece. That's Zach Schlegel dribbling at the P here at the Peterson Event Center. Mars, the navy blue and gold, the white and red and blue for Laurel Highlands. Dvorak on the left wing. Back to Kraska. Kraska and Michael Carmody, the only two starters who came back after last year's championship for Mars. Good drop step and a drop by Schlegel. Lost the ball. Gets it back to Stefanos. That's Mahali Stefanos. Now Tasso has announced his presence. I should make the difference between the two brothers. So next time you talk to his father, you can tell him we've got that going on now.
Yeah, next time we sit next to each other on a plane.
Patient set for the Mars Fighting Planets. 33 apiece.
And again, I'm sorry, Bob. I think Mars is absolutely 100% A-OK with this pace.
They missed with Schlegel's three. Michael Carmody rebounds, so that's his ninth board. It was knocked away from him by Engott, I believe, and it'll be a baseline inbound for the Fighting Planets.
And every time there's a miss and Michael ends up with the offensive rebound, it's like a post pass.
It was actually knocked away by Cook, and indeed, he's so strong underneath. You just saw it there in that replay. Just getting position on Engott. Drive the runner. Mahali Stefanos using the iron for two. He's got four.
I'll tell you another thing that's really impressive about Carmody, too. He doesn't pick up a lot of fouls because, again, a kid that big, if he just bumps somebody, they're going to fly across the lane. You know, you or I might hit the person, and it wouldn't move him at all. So he also has to be real careful with how big he is not to get himself into foul trouble, because if he gets into foul trouble, this game takes on a whole totally different perspective.
Gallagher ISO, 17-footer, no. Another rebound for Carmody, that's 10. Mars up 2. So we approach the halfway point of quarter number 3. Dvorak, right elbow. Can't get it to go. Clean up, Carmody. No, but he draws the foul. Michael Carmody will shoot 2. Free throws tonight brought to you by your friends at the Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena, located in Cheswick. Their 100,000 square feet of space leaves plenty of room and sports-related fun. You can have a birthday party, camps, training, youth leagues. Parents, they also have a pub and grill and various adult leagues. Grab your team and visit PISAUSA.com. Carmody makes the first. That's 9 on the game for Michael Carmody. He's a 71% free throw shooter on the season.
Which is another impressive statistic for a kid who's, again, 6'7", a big guy, doesn't play basketball year-round because he's a football player as well, so to shoot 71%, pretty impressive.
Going to play football at Notre Dame, Michael Carmody, most likely at the next level after that. Brother Robbie's up there playing basketball already for the Fighting Irish. Gallagher thinks about it from the left elbow, doesn't shoot it. Smith bounces it near side. Engott's short jumper, that's short. Rebounded by Michael Carmody. Mars has a 4-point lead, their biggest, the chance to add to that. They've outscored Laurel Highlands 8-2 here in quarter number 3.
And there's a reason why Laurel Highlands is playing in zone. You wonder if and when Mars, what I was about to say was if they were going to maybe hold on to it a little bit and make Laurel Highlands come out and match up and play man-to-man. You know why Laurel Highlands doesn't want to play man-to-man. They don't have anybody that physically can match up with Carmody.
Cook had the great steal in the hands, and he came down the court. Chris Dvorak has been the emerging story in this game as we get a timeout with 3:32 to go.
And I think that's a really good timeout by Rick.
This timeout brought to you by Everybody Shops. The Pittsburgh Penny Saver is now Everybody Shops, and it's better than ever. This new and improved local marketplace can help you buy what you want and sell what you don't. Find the new Everybody Shops in your mailbox every Thursday. Get great offers on items and services from businesses and individuals in your neighborhood. Find antiques, cars, legal notices, pets, real estate, jobs, garage sales, and so much more. Can't wait until Thursday? Then visit online at everybodyshops.com because everybody shops.
And Bob, the reason why I said I thought there was a really good timeout by Coach Hager was because we've been talking about throughout the first half Laurel Highlands always having an answer. Well, this has been the first part of the game where they haven't had an answer. And he probably kind of sensed, hey, you know what, I can't. There's a 4-point lead right now, 2-possession game. I don't want this to get to be a 3 or 4-possession lead for them.
Cook turns around and misses. Rebound fought for by Gallagher. Nope, but it comes into the hands of Dvorak. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks for Chris Dvorak. Putting up good numbers tonight in the championship game here at the Pete. Approach the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Mars has the ball, leading by 4. Stefanos, another runner with a teardrop. 2 in a row like that. He's got 6.
And again, entry pass into the high post, that soft spot of the zone.
They found it in the first half with Dvorak. Mahali Stefanos twice in this third quarter. 6-point lead, the biggest of the game for the Fighting Planets. Gallagher hesitates, drives, puts it up. No, but he draws the foul. And he will shoot 2. I'm guessing by the conversation, it's going to go against Michael Carmody. And it is. His second. Gallagher to the free throw line to shoot 2. He has 11 points. He scored 9, did Rodney Gallagher in the second quarter. He has yet to score here in the third.
We just saw there in the instant replay again, Gallagher taking it right at Carmody, not being intimidated by him, not changing his shot, going right at him.
And he's got that mentality, so that stays, Rick. But as he grows from a freshman, that'll get even better and stronger, that part of his game. He splits the pair, does Rodney Gallagher. Makes it 39-34. Laurel Highlands has stayed in this zone, primarily 2-3. Been in it. More extended, though, with Tyvon Long kind of comes off of the baseline, which leaves Engard and Carmody down low. Miss. There's Chris Dvorak, 10 in blue. He's been everywhere. Drive by Mahali Stefanos. No. There's Carmody, Michael Carmody. Gets it up and in with the power putback. 12 points, 13 rebounds, and a foul at the other end against Mars.
That's one of the problems with the zone is sometimes on a rebound, whose ball is it? If the ball lands in the middle of the zone, if it's man-to-man, you're responsible for your guy. And that's how Mars was able to get that last offensive rebound.
Foul's caught against Schlegel. There's Gallagher driving. That's strong. The good rebound by Tyvon Long. That doesn't go. Carmody knocks down Gallagher. Who's called for the personal? Is it white or blue? Is it 2 or 3? We got a conclave with the officials.
And my guess is what they're discussing is whether or not they thought that this was a flagrant foul.
That's a foul against Michael Carmody with the elbow.
And they're not assessing, I don't believe they're assessing
I don't think it should have been.
A technical. I think that's what the discussion was.
Yeah,
oh, yep,
they
they're
are
calling it
intentional. So that'll be 2 shots and the ball. Sometimes you get punished for being 6'7" and 290.
And that's kind of what I mentioned earlier about how he does a pretty good job of not getting into foul trouble because of how big and strong he is.
First of all, nice discussion by Michael Carmody and the refs, and then he had already patted Rodney Gallagher in the back and does it again. So good show of sportsmanship for number 3 for the Mars Fighting Planets.
For sure. And I think a good job of officiating right now by Joey Januck, too, going over and talking to Rob, and he's allowing Rob to have his say. I don't think either one of them is going to change the other's mind, but that's a good job of officiating to at least go over and explain and, hey, this is what I saw, this is what I called, and this is why I did.
Mars had the ball and a 7-point lead, but Gallagher hits both free throws, so he's made his last 3. Cuts it to 5 and possession for the Mustangs on the right baseline. Gallagher to Cook. He's in the left corner, pulls it back out. Tim Smith. We've seen no substitutes so far for Laurel Highlands. Just Tasso Stefanos for Mars. Good find. Gallagher to Engot for the layup.
Again, what an unbelievable pass by Gallagher. As you said, Bob, a great find, great vision.
Made it easy for Nick Engot for his first 2. It's a 3-point game.
Gets it back to a 1-possession game.
Great crowd here tonight. Both Mars and Laurel Highlands filling the Pete for this final game on Friday night. Good give and go. That's foul number 4, offensive on Michael Carmody. Keandre Cook draws the charge. So he gets 4 fouls with 1:17 to go, and Mars leading 41-38. Mark it down at home. I certainly did. So Tasso Stefanos is going to come in, and the post play is going to fall on Chris Dvorak, Rick, who is just as tall but not as wide as Michael Carmody.
No, absolutely. As we said,
they go right at the hoop.
They go right at the hoop.
Dvorak blocks it.
Carmody gets into foul trouble. It changes the complexion of the game for sure.
Tasso Stefanos rims out the tray. Rebounded by Tyvon Long. Under a minute to go, third. The Mustangs could tie with the tray. They throw it away. Deflected, though. Out of bounds by Zach Schlegel. And Laurel Highlands retains possession.
And now the question for Coach Carmody is, how long do you let Michael sit?
He told you when you talked to him the other day, guard play is going to be important. It certainly becomes way more important. There's the Carmody fire on the bench. Drive, turning, scoop layup on the reverse for Rodney Gallagher.
And again, with Carmody out of the game, the first two possessions after he leaves the game, what does Laurel Highlands do? They drive it
right to the iron.
Right to the basket.
It's a 1-point game, under a half a minute to go in the third. Mars has the ball. Will they hold for one? They tried to do it in the second quarter, even though they turned it over.
And once again, Bob, it looks as if they've got the possession arrow, so pretty good strategy. Last possession of the third quarter, first possession of the fourth quarter.
Down to 10. Schlegel breaks open. Near side, Mahali Stefanos. Three is no good. Rebound. Schlegel crashed into by Gallagher. Schlegel, shot blocked by Tyvon Long. That heave doesn't go. End of three. Mars 41, Laurel Highlands 40. Do not go away. The 5A WPIAL Boys Basketball Championship brought to you by Sendell Motors. It's right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Sendell Subaru has a special place in my heart, and not just because it's my family's dealership. It's because we're a dealership that makes everyone feel like family. From the way we treat our customers to all the wonderful things we do to serve and support the community. Everything that Sendell Subaru does comes from a very special place. It all starts with the heart. And this year, we plan to do even more. So whether you catch us out in the community or we see you in our showroom, we would love to meet you.
Excella Health wants to know, how can we help you today? Can we help you find a doctor? Schedule a same-day appointment. Choose just the right service for your health concern? As your healthcare partner, Excella offers hundreds of primary care and specialty doctors, along with outpatient testing, rehab, and nationally recognized heart care, surgery, and orthopedics. To learn more, visit excellahealth.org or call 1-877-771-1234.
Back at the Peterson Event Center, Bob Orquist alongside Rick Bell. Mars 41, Laurel Highlands 40. Fourth quarter begins with Mars in possession of the ball and the lead. Great drop step, Kraska. Drive the kick out. Tasso Stefanos. Short on the three. Tyvon Long has the rebound.
One of the other things that has happened now that Carmody's out of the game, Bob, it's allowed Laurel Highlands to go man-to-man. They've gotten out of the zone and they've gone man-to-man. For the same reason, as you said earlier, they don't have to worry now about a 6'7", 290 guy.
Long, who drives here, has the ball stolen by Dvorak, and it's a turnover as Long knocks it away. Tyvon Long has 6 points and 11 rebounds for Laurel Highlands. Schlegel will bring it up with the experience factor for Mars, even though only Kraska and Michael Carmody played as starters last year, being in the championship for the third straight year. Will that be the difference maker? We've gone back and forth this entire game. Biggest lead of the night was for Mars at 7. Long steals, drives. And that's a Sendell Motors quality drive for 2.
Laurel Highlands back on top, 42-41, just under 7 to go in the fourth quarter.
So you take the timeout by Coach Hogger and the fourth foul on Michael Carmody, and the formula has changed. The recipe has changed. And Laurel Highlands back on top, and there's a turnover. They threw it to Michael or Timmy Smith. Gallagher driving and scoring. 18 for Rodney Gallagher. Laurel Highlands by 3 at 44-41.
And Michael Carmody's coming back to the scorer's table to check in, Bob.
Stefanos, Mahali, gives to Schlegel. Schlegel resets at half court.
I was thinking Rob was either going to take a timeout or he was going to put Michael back into the game.
Good ball movement. There's Kraska driving from the left corner. Goes right side and lays it in. Kraska with 5, his first points since he had a tray in the first quarter. And now we get a Mars timeout.
So he did both. He's going to get Michael back into the game and take the timeout.
Hey, our friends at the Pittsburgh Penny Saver, they are now Everybody Shops. And it's better than ever. This new and improved local marketplace can help you buy what you want and sell what you don't. Find the new Everybody Shops in your mailbox every Thursday. Get great offers on items and services from businesses and individuals in your neighborhood. Find antiques, cars, legal notices, pets, real estate, jobs, garage sales, and so much more. Can't wait until Thursday. Then visit us online at everybodyshops.com because everybody shops. Tonight's game and this broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the listening audience. Any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent from the WPIAL and the Trib Live High School Sports Network is strictly prohibited. With Rick Bell, Bob Orquist, a good one between Laurel Highlands and Mars. Mars, the 3 seed, 2-time defending 5A champs. Laurel Highlands, the 8 seed, trying to win their first championship since 1968. Both of these teams are in the state playoffs. Opportunity presents itself. We'll talk about those as well. Long on the left wing. There's Cook. Cook had 12 in the first half, has yet to score in the second half. He's been definitely a factor, though. Smith runs the baseline, gets the pass, resets, dumps it to Long, who loses it, but deflected by Dvorak, and it's going to be Laurel Highlands basketball.
Michael Carmody's going to have to show tremendous self-discipline, Bob, on both sides of the floor. We saw the difference, how the game swung as soon as he went to the bench with his 4th foul. He's going to have to stay away, do not reach, do not go over the back, do not move on screens. Again, he's going to have to show tremendous self-discipline, which I know he has.
But he also is an aggressive player. Sometimes
is.
It's hard to mix those two.
Exactly right.
There's Cook. Resets on the left side. Doesn't shoot it. Guarded by Mahali Stefanos. Top of the key, that's Rodney Gallagher.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see Gallagher take it right at Carmody to maybe try to get that 5th foul.
Almost had it there. Gallagher misses the jumper. Carmody rebounds. Schlegel knew that. Schlegel kind of switched the defense to take Gallagher on the drive so Carmody wouldn't have it. Offensively, we see this where Carmody sometimes does stay in the high post, so that can keep him out of trouble offensively. But then he loses offensive rebounding, and he gets a long jumper there, almost a three-pointer. It's Tyvon Long with a rebound. Just in case you're wondering, Michael Carmody has hit 6 three-pointers on the season.
And I'm sure Coach Hogger wasn't too upset from Laurel Highlands' perspective to see Michael pull that 3.
Sure, you let him take it. Great spin, but Dvorak blocks Rodney Gallagher, and they slap hands. Good sportsmanship again. That's 4 blocks for Chris Dvorak.
And I'm sure Gallagher was probably pretty impressed by that. My guess is that doesn't happen to him very often.
Sure. Inbounds, and they find Engot. Engot has 4.
And if we kind of saw there, Michael Carmody just kind of let it go.
Engot came off the bench sometimes during the season. Starts in the playoffs. Gallagher steals, runs, and then pulls it out. And through the playoffs, Engot 3 against Hampton. 8 against Penn Hills, almost a season high, and then 4, which he has tonight, but 4 against TJ. And Gallagher hits the turnaround J, and then keeps the shooter's pose to let everyone know that it was good. 5-point lead for Laurel Highlands at 48-43.
And not just that it was good, but I am good.
There's a drive, and 1 for Mahali Stefanos. A big answer at the other end for the Fighting Planets.
I was just going to say, the script has switched. Mars needed an answer, and that time they got the answer.
Makes it a 3-point game. 8 for Mahali Stefanos, his first trip to the free throw line.
Give your child the opportunity to have some healthy competition this summer. Do it at Pittsburgh Indoor Sports Arena. Take advantage of their early bird special and sign up before April 1st to get $30 off per week. All sports, all day, all summer. Register now at PISAUSA.com.
Stefanos missed the and 1, so it remains a 3-point game. There's Gallagher. That's Cook. Driving, crossing over, no. Carmody fights for the rebound for Cook, and it's going to be a foul on Keandre Cook. You hear that whistle, and there were hundreds of Mars hearts stopping.
And listen, I've been a coach for 31 years. I haven't been a broadcaster yet for 31 days. I heard that whistle, and my heart stopped for Coach Carmody.
31 years for my partner at Peters Township at Canada McMillan. Rick Bell, 438 wins, which is exactly 438 more than I have.
Well, the beautiful thing since I've started doing this, Bob, I'm undefeated. Dick Vitale was right. You never lose over here.
Our partner Johnny Lee has that same feeling.
Absolutely.
Our longtime colleague, longtime head coach. Mars down 3, under 3 to go in this fourth. Schlegel drives, pulls it back out to Stefanos, enters to Michael Carmody, up and in, and he draws the foul. And Laurel Highlands thought it was an offensive foul, but Michael Carmody has a chance to tie the game.
Engott, you can see him, he's kind of holding his chin. If to get that call, especially the fifth call.
I think Engott was off his feet.
You got to go. You got to go. What I mean by you got to go down. You got to, if you're going to try to get that call, you got to hit the floor and sell it as if you got run over.
Can't tie though. Kraska can't hit the rebound. Who's going to get the next rebound? Kraska again to Stefanos. Mark those 2 big rebounds down for Joey Kraska after the Michael Carmody miss in a 1-point game.
Laurel Highlands has stayed in the man-to-man defense, even with Carmody coming back into the game.
They play perimeter. Stefanos to Kraska. Carmody back to Mahaly Stefanos. And now Schlegel near side. Enters to Carmody. Lost the ball. But Dvorak comes up with it. 3, no by Kraska. And a whistle away. It's on the rebound. I think it's Gallagher on Carmody. Gallagher called for a push.
That's the 5th against the Mustangs.
Push from behind. Let's talk about we get a full timeout. The state playoffs, 6 representatives from Class 5A, the WPIAL District 7 make it. The winner tonight plays the number 9 team, the number 9 seed from District 3, which is York. The loser plays Elizabethtown, the 7th seed, and then the 3rd seeds through 6 are to be determined. We know the teams, it's just their seeding. Thomas Jefferson and Char Valley are in because they were semifinalists. And with Laurel Highlands getting here, Penn Hill's the number 1 seed into the state playoffs. And with Mars getting here, South Fayette into the state playoffs. So the 4th place team plays the 2nd place team from District 3. The 5th place team plays Obama Academy, who won earlier tonight. And the 6th place team plays the District 3 championship. That championship game in District 3 is Muhlenberg and Milton Hershey. That game at 8:30 tip-off. Let's take a look now. One of the candidates for Sendell Motors drive of the game. Who else but the sensational freshman? Schlegel's first 2 gives Mars the lead at 49-48. What a big shot for Zach Schlegel late in the 4th. He was 8 of 10 against South Fayette in the 4th quarter from the free throw line. Missed by Gallagher. Rebound long. Gallagher drives. That back rim and down.
Pretty much almost any one of Gallagher's drives could have been the Sendell Motors drive of the game.
Sensational freshman. How about the rebounding of Tyvon Long? 14 rebounds for Tyvon Long in this game.
And Laurel Highlands has gone back to their 2-3 zone.
It's 1 less than Michael Carmody. A steal. Cook with a pickpocket. Up ahead. He's going to drive and miss. Rebound. Rodney Gallagher has it and pulls it out. A heady play by the freshman.
And the difference that time in the zone defense, as Laurel Highlands takes a 30-second timeout, the zone defense that time, Bob, they matched up on the high post guy. They stepped long up and matched up on the high post guy, which took away any driving opportunities.
Yesterday, Bishop Canevin in girls 2A, Vincentian in boys 1A, and North Catholic in boys 3A won titles. Earlier today in girls A, Rochester won back-to-back. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart also won back-to-back in boys 2A. And then North Catholic, the girls, won again. Tomorrow, 5 championships. Girls 3A, boys 4A, girls 5A, girls 6A, and boys 6A. Since you're new to this gig, Bob's role is when Jump Around comes on, we need to listen. You can jump around if you want, Rick. The crowd's into it. No?
I see you're into it as well.
How can you not be?
Absolutely.
It's been a great one between Laurel Highlands and Mars.
And listen, Bobby, real quickly, a couple vital statistics. Laurel Highlands committed 5 fouls, so 2, and Mars is in the 1-1. Mars has committed 4, so 3. Laurel Highlands is in 1-1. Possession arrow favors Laurel Highlands.
Leave timeouts remaining, 3 apiece. That's your reset. Mars almost had a steal. There's Long at the foul line. Now Laurel Highlands is working it out. Mentioned that Rob Carmody, 22 years at the helm of Mars. Gallagher, the runner, right-handed, no. He's going to get the rebound, though, off the floor. Rick Hogger's in his 15th year leading Laurel Highlands. He has 196 wins. 197 would maybe be his sweetest. Again, a patient set. Mars is pressuring the basketball, and Kraska is called for the foul near half court.
And that is now foul number 5 against Mars. So 2 more, Laurel Highlands will be shooting a 1-1. 5 team fouls both ways. And again, possession arrow still favors the Mustangs.
Asan Cote comes in for foul purposes.
What Coach Carmody did the last time there, anytime Gallagher got the ball, he ran 2 guys at him to double team him to make him give it up, which again is a good strategy.
Down to a half a minute with another foul. There's a double team right there, as you're talking about on Gallagher.
Yep, if I'm Coach Hogger, I definitely want the ball in that freshman's hands. And if I'm Coach Carmody, I want to do what he's doing, run 2 at him to make him give it up. If we're going to go down, let's make somebody else beat us and not this kid.
Long is stolen. Mahali Safanos. Ascendel Motors. Quality drive. And Mars has the lead.
Full timeout, Mars.
They tried to get the inbounds to Long at half court. It came to Mahali Safanos. He drove in for the layup, and Mars is up 51-50. The 10th point of the night for Mahali Safanos.
The only thing that Gallagher can't do, Bob, is he can't pass it to himself.
This is true. Tried to get it into the Long, and off his fingertips into the hands of Safanos, who drives and scores. Now what is the strategy for Laurel Highlands and for Mars?
Well, again, if I'm Laurel Highlands, I've always been a believer you dance with the person you took to the dance. I'm putting the ball in Gallagher's hands, and I'm saying to him, even though he's a freshman, because we've talked about it, he's not your normal freshman. Young buck, go make a play. Conversely, if I'm Mars, I'm trying to get the ball out of his hands. So sometimes this game's pretty simple. Sometimes we make it more complicated than it really is.
It'll be Carmody, Dvorak, Schlegel, Kraska, and Mahali Safanos, the starters for Mars. Cook, Gallagher, Long, Smith, and Engott, the starters for Laurel Highlands with 27.2 seconds to go. Mars 51, Laurel Highlands 50. Laurel Highlands has to go the length of the floor with the inbound, and Mars is matched up in a man-on-man.
One of the other,
not fronting the inbounder either.
And one of the other reasons I'd have it in Gallagher's hands and have him going to the basket is Mars has committed 6 fouls. So if it's a floor foul, it's a 1-on-1.
Schlegel and Kraska double team Gallagher. Forecourt to Cook. He's going to drive the runner. Count it. No! Offensive foul. No basket. And I believe it was Michael Carmody who drew the charge.
Get an opportunity to see it here again on instant replay. Toughest call in basketball.
You got that right. We just watched the replay, and I still couldn't decide. You're a hair away from fouling out.
Yeah, that's a really gutsy take on Michael Carmody's
Cook
part.
was trying to he's going to foul out Keandre Cook. He was going to try to repeat his heroics from the Penn Hills game in the quarterfinals. He goes out with 5 fouls. Terrence Thomas Brown replaces him, and Laurel Highlands takes a timeout with 13.9 seconds to go.
Now, the thing that Laurel Highlands can't do, okay, you just had a really, obviously, an excruciatingly difficult call go against you. You can still win this game. They've got to compose themselves, decide what it is that they're going to do defensively. They've committed 6 fouls, so if you decide to, again, probably my guess is they're going to come up with some sort of pressure, man-to-man zone, try to trap, double team, try to get a steal. And if you don't get that initial steal with only 13-9 to go, you don't have time to waste. So I'm sure Coach Hager's probably telling them, let's try to get a trap and a steal if we can. Remember, Laurel Highlands also has the possession arrow, so all they have to do is get a tie-up, and then they get the ball. If we don't get the steal, then let's foul. Let's turn it into a free throw shooting contest. And with Gallagher on a missed free throw, he can go the length of the floor in a hurry and give Laurel Highlands another opportunity to win this game.
Many, if not all of those things you said, Rick, probably discussed in both huddles.
I would think.
You would hope.
Yeah,
you
would think.
thought that, but then Chris Rubber forgot that he didn't have a timeout in his back pocket.
Well, he still doesn't like to talk about that.
Well, would you?
No. I'm even a little nervous talking about it, thinking maybe he might hear you and I talking about it.
Apologies then if Chris is listening. That's going to be a quick foul on Tim Smith. It took about a second. So now you shoot 1-1, and Michael Carmody comes in and has a couple words of encouragement for Zach Schlegel. Mentioned that Zach Schlegel in the semifinal or the quarterfinal win over South Fayette hit 8 of 10 free throws in the fourth quarter. He's got a 1-1. The thing that favors Laurel Highlands as well, even if he makes 2, it's still a 3-point game, a 1-possession game. Schlegel's first. Short. Tyvon Long rebounds.
This is where Gallagher can be real dangerous in the open court.
Here he comes. Driving. Goes in. Lays it up. No, but a foul on the way there on the floor. And that'll be a 1-on-1 for Rodney Gallagher.
And that was exactly what I was talking about, Bob, going into that last timeout. There's 13.9. Doesn't seem like a lot of time. There's a lot of basketball left. A lot of things can happen. Gallagher gets the ball in the open court. Woo! I kind of like my chances again if you're Laurel Highlands.
The freshman Rodney Gallagher, Rick, came in with all his hype. Can he write the final chapter of his first WPIAL season in grand fashion? Ties the game at 51.
Be real interesting to see the strategy on both coaches here. Coach Carmody is signaling to his guys on a make. He wants a timeout.
51 apiece. If he misses, we smell overtime. Makes the second.
Both coaches wanted a timeout. Coach Hager wanted it, so did Coach Carmody. You tell me that's a real freshman there, my man. He didn't even hit the rim.
In a pressure situation, Rodney Gallagher now with 24 points, drains 2 free throws with 4.8 seconds to go.
And I'm going to tell you the same thing, Bob, I told you at the last time out. Both teams have to keep their composure. Laurel Highlands has not won this game yet. 4.8 seconds again, it's a lot of time. If Laurel Highlands commits a floor foul, now Mars is shooting a free throw. And Rob's got to do a great job, as I know he will with his guys. Okay, now we're on the other end of it. Let's go make a play.
It'll be the same 5. No, Tasso Stefanos is in. So Kraska will inbound. Schlegel, Michael Carmody, and the Stefanos brothers. And it is Brown in there. Terrence Brown for Laurel Highlands, along with Long, Smith, Gallagher, and Engott. And now Rick Hager wants a time. It's interesting because the story in the quarterfinals in the semifinal win over TJ is that Rick Hager wanted to call a timeout. It was against Penn Hills, and they couldn't hear him. So then they broke the trap at half court, and then Keandre Cook scored the game winner.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I wanted it, but once they broke the pressure,
And again, sometimes, and that's why I said after the free throw that Gallagher was shooting to see what Rob Carmody's strategy was going to be, because sometimes, from a coach's perspective, and you know your team, if you take a timeout, it gives the other team a chance to align defensively. Sometimes let's just go, let's play it out. It's an open floor, and let's see what happens. In this case, I think Rick Hogger took the timeout because he wanted to see how Mars aligned and what it was that Coach Carmody was planning on doing.
So, with your coach's hat, when you see that, then do you switch? So does Rob Carmody switch what he showed?
I would not. I would go with what my initial reaction was. I've got confidence in my guys. I've got confidence in this play. You have to prove to me you can stop it.
Last year, it was Andrew Recchio hit the game-winning three. Stefanos near side, dribbling in, driving, lays it at the buzzer, it's no good! And Laurel Highlands is your 5A WPIAL champion.
So here we see it again on the instant replay, and
they got a good look with Stefanos.
They got a great look, and as we kind of said, sometimes in the open court, Stefanos made the decision to take it to the rim, have a shot at the basket, have a shot maybe at a foul call, and the officials decided there was play on at the end, no call.
There it is again. It was Rodney Gallagher, who's back defending.
And as we said earlier, Gallagher taking that slide over, kind of like how we talked earlier about Carmody altering shots. Gallagher did the same thing right there.
For the first time since 1968, you can say the words, Laurel Highlands boys basketball champions. The Mustangs 52, the Mars Fighting Planets 51. Back with our postgame show right after this. Exclusive coverage brought to you tonight on the Trib Live High School Sports Network, all by Sendell Motors.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me, on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused. Why I practiced harder. Why I play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo.
Let's turn your home into something really cool, like a dream vacation or a new addition, or both. Let's make it easy by putting a great rate on a home equity line of credit. Let's get started, online or at your local First National Bank branch.
Back at the Peterson Event Center alongside Rick Bell, Bob Orquist. An exciting back and forth matchup in the boys 5A WPIAL Championship. Mars' chance at a three-peat ended tonight. Laurel Highlands, Rodney Gallagher, the sensational freshman, 2 free throws. The and one bonus with 4.8 seconds to go. 24 points, the margin of victory, 52-51. We were just talking during the break. You hearkened to a conversation, Rick, that you had with Rich Hogger, and was that not on the money?
We may have to start referring to him as Coach Nostradamus.
Oh, you got that right.
Coach Hogger, again, said that his keys to the game were, and the first one was, minimize the damage by Michael, of course being Carmody, take 1/2 of his averages away. And again, he came into tonight averaging 20 points and 20 rebounds. And ended up with, Bob?
14 points, 15 rebounds.
And, I don't teach math, but that's pretty good. And as a former coach, when you see a coach come up with a strategy like that, and then it actually comes to fruition, and we talked about it, it was really smart, Bob, because it was a realistic goal. It wasn't something that was unrealistic. The other thing that he said that they needed to do was they needed to play the game fast. And again, I think for the most part, Laurel Highlands did that. And then lastly, he said, hey, and this sounds so simple, we got to make shots. And how many times throughout the course of the night did we talk about how many big shots the Mustangs made, especially in the first half, when it seemed like Mars was, kind of making a run and trying to take the momentum. Boom, Laurel Highlands answered.
By the way, thanks, Bob. Greg Muhlenberg leads Milton Hershey 33-24 at the half. So if that would hold up, Laurel Highlands would play Muhlenberg. Mars would play Milton Hershey. And that would bring the number 3 seed, which is now Thomas Jefferson, to play New Oxford. And then the 4 seed, which is now South Fayette, they would play the loser of Muhlenberg and Milton Hershey. The 5 seed now becomes Penn Hills, who was the 1 seed in this tournament. They'll get Obama Academy, the WPIAL or the Pittsburgh City League champions, and then the 6 seed, which is over to this side, Bob. We'll get it somewhere. South Fayette. They'll play the winner of Muhlenberg and Milton Hershey. 24 points for Rodney Gallagher. 12 for DeAndre Cook. Tyvon Long at 8 and 15 rebounds.
Bob, as you were mentioning about the PIA tournament, because that's what's next, Penn Hills could be one of those teams.
No question.
that, nobody's going to want to see, especially in the first round, because I'm sure they're going to have a little bit of chip on their shoulder as they try to make a run back through the state tournament.
For Laurel Highlands, this was their 3rd appearance all-time in a WPIAL championship game. They beat Denora back in 1968, 74-53. They were runners-up to Farrell 48 years ago. They will chant 1968 no more at Laurel Highlands.
And Rick Hogger told me today when I spoke to him that 1968, that was only the 2nd year of existence of Laurel Highlands. And as I mentioned earlier, he was a 9th grader. He was telling me how he remembered it and how the community had rallied around, and he said it was almost like he was reliving it. And we see across the way all the red and blue jerseys over there. I mean, there's I don't know if anybody's left in Laurel Highlands tonight. I think they're all here at the Pete.
Great support. Here's one thing I didn't mention, too, that they had a guard, Caleb Palumbo, who transferred from Uniontown, who didn't play in the playoffs because of the new transfer rule. And he's a 3-point shooter, a ball handler. Yet, here they are, WPIAL champions. You face adversity, and sometimes you kick it in the teeth.
And, one of the things that Rob Carmody said about Coach Hogger, he said, he's a great coach, and he has done a great job with this group, especially when the face of your team and your program is a freshman. And the fact that he did that, and that all of these kids have bought in, a tip of the cap and a credit to Rick Hogger for the job he's done this year with the Mustangs.
The final chapter of the WPIAL season for Rodney Gallagher has a great ending. Will it have one in the state playoffs? There's De'Aaron Jenkins, who was a standout player at Uniontown High School, and an assistant here at Laurel Highlands. And that's Rich Hogger getting a well-deserved gold medal. What a gentleman Coach Hogger is as well.
From Laurel Highlands, played at Laurel Highlands, is a principal at Laurel Highlands.
LH all the way, getting a big handshake and a hug from Rodney Gallagher. They're going to get the championship trophy here presented to them by the WPIAL. And again, the first time since 1968, the Laurel Highlands Mustangs are the WPIAL boys basketball champions. Now they send their seniors out to get the trophy. Keandre Cook, Tyvon Long, and Tim Smith. Also with Coach Hogger. And what a season. 4 wins to a gold medal. That's quite the story in itself.
Absolutely.
That was only one of 3 times that Rick Hogger didn't make the playoffs. There are your 5A boys, WPIAL basketball champions, the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. For my partner, Rick Smith. For Team Trib Live, Bob Orquist saying your final Laurel Highlands 52, Mars 51. Thanks for watching exclusive coverage on the Trib Live High School Sports Network presented by Sendell Motors.